Hi there, it's Kute here, sending you much love wherever you're watching this short video right now. As Valentine's Day approaches, what's often on our minds and our hearts, the hot topic of love. Finding love, keeping love, committing to love, falling in love. Love is in the air. Ultimately, love is what we are, and when we forget that we are love, we end up trying to seek it, thinking we're going to find it out there, but love is essentially what we are. But in today's video blog, I want to talk a bit about a topic that I've received quite a few emails on. It's really the question of, and the concern of, how do I deal with my fear of commitment? Which is really the fear of love, the fear of falling in love. Love is something that we are. It is natural for us to love and want to love and be intimate. It's a deep internal desire that we have for oneness, to merge, to connect, to feel intimacy and oneness with another, ultimately ourselves, the impulse for oneness. And yet, as much as we want love and to love and be loved and be in love, why is love often so scary for us? Have you ever had that feeling where you're like, oh my God, I'm falling in love? And you maybe were out of breath and it felt so vulnerable and it felt so scary, exhilarating, exciting, but also so scary at the same time. And sometimes we so want love, we invoke love, we say we want love, we write about love, and then, have you ever had this experience? When love shows up at your doorstep, the great guy, a great woman, they show up, they're like, I'm here. And they start moving towards you, and you start moving towards them, and you get closer, you get closer, you get closer, you get closer. And when you get too close, you have this feeling where you get freaked out and you freeze, or you run away, right? Or you do something stupid and you sabotage this amazing potentiality of love. Like you don't call back, you create an argument, whatever it is, you just sabotage it, or you block love. Ultimately, fear gets triggered. See, love often brings up everything unlike itself in order to be healed. So your fear might get triggered in the face of love and the vulnerability of love, and acts out and creates that block, right? And so why? Why is it that we are sometimes so afraid? We want love, but we're sometimes so afraid of committing deeply. Why? Here's a few thoughts and a few simple understandings and a key I would like to give to you. Deep down, we are love. We're seeking love. But as we enter into relationship, what we're really afraid of is not necessarily commitment. What we're afraid of, because when you fall in love, love ultimately is a death. Love is a death of your separate sense of self. Love is a death of your ego. When you fall in love, you will have to die. There will be parts of you that you thought you were, that you were so identified with, that will dissolve, that will die, that will be relinquished, that will be released, that will be ultimately be made and transformed in love. And so often what happens is when you fall in love, or when someone falls in love, you enter into this amazing just vortex of love, and then all of a sudden the ego gets freaked out. It's like, I'm in love. Oh my goodness, I'm going to die in this love, right? So maybe you've had someone who you got so intimate and they ran away. There was a compliment, right? They felt the reality of your heart, the reality of, I'm going to die. When you fall in love, you will die. And often, the degree to which you are identified with your separate sense of self, the degree to which you are identified with your ego structure, your mind, your body, this identity, this form called you, is the degree to which you might be afraid of being in a deeply committed relationship, because when you're in love, you die, but the you that will die is not the real you. The you that will actually need to be released and die is the egoic you, the identified you. Ultimately, when you realize, you have to realize that you are love, you have to realize that your true nature as love, your true nature as source, as spirit, as energy, as consciousness is birthless and deathless. You are not just this mind-body mechanism called Susie or John or Kute. You are infinite. You are infinity itself. When you know that you are infinite and you know, so remember who you are. And when you remember and know who you are, you then realize that the you that ends up dying in relationship, in the commitment of relationship, is not really you anyway. And when you connect to that deep source of your beingness, your soul, your spirit, as you wake up and remember who you are, then the fear of dying, the fear of commitment begins to fall away. The degree to which we are conditioned into our limited box is sometimes the degree to which we are actually afraid, because love is a letting go of control. Love is a surrender. Love is letting go. Love is a merging ultimately with another, releasing your sense of separation, which can be terrifying. We must first acknowledge this fear and then also remember who we really are. You are infinite. Sometimes we have this fear of commitment because we also have this mistaken idea that I'm going to lose my freedom. I'm going to lose my freedom if I'm in a committed relationship. I don't want to lose my freedom, and the way I can not lose my freedom is not be committed. I can, be with this person, be with that person, and that real freedom is doing whatever you want, with whoever you want, however many times you want, whenever you want, however much you want. To me, this is not real freedom. That might just be being a slave to your desire, being a slave to your fears. Real freedom is being in touch with that deeper dimension of your beingness, your true beingness. Real freedom is not a function of the structure of form of a relationship, because ultimately all forms change. Real freedom is an inside experience. If your freedom is... So when you know who you are, and you know that your true source is infinite, then you realize your true freedom is within you, not out here in a relationship or a form or a structure. And the degree to which you realize your true essence, your freedom is not dependent on a commitment or a non-commitment. Your freedom is an inherent, natural state of being. Are you with me? To me, this is the real freedom. Then you are free to enter into relationship and commit fully and love fully, whilst being free in the relationship, not free out of the relationship. Then you're not really afraid of committing in a relationship anymore. The key is realize who you are. The second key is a mindset shift. If you are attached to an outcome, if you're attached to the relationship, then likely you will hold back, you will protect your heart just in case you give everything. You give your heart and your soul, and maybe you break up, and the divorce rate is 50%, so the chances of it not working out are 50-50, and as a self-protection mechanism of not getting hurt for the potential future failure, it's so easy to hold back or not commit fully, really, for survival. But when you make this shift that I'm about to share with you, everything changes. When you take your focus off of the outcome, off of the end result, and you surrender yourself to the process of loving, and you make it less about the person, even though, of course, the person is precious and important, and you make your commitment not just to the person, but you make your commitment to the loving When you become radically committed to the process of loving itself, you become free. It actually frees you up to love even more, because it's less about the form. Of course, you love the person. You have a connection with the person. There's a deep feeling, an affinity, a love, just a thing with the person. And obviously, the hope is you're with this person forever. But we must remember that the real purpose of relationship is not simply staying together forever. The real purpose of any relationship is for your growth and evolution. You and this person found each other, come together because there's certain lessons that you both have to teach each other. There's some karma, there's some lessons, and so you stay together so long as you and this person as spiritual partners are committed to, keyword, committed to each other's growth and evolution, and so long as you are learning the lessons and you are both growing and becoming the most authentic expression of who you were born to be, whilst learning the lessons for which you came together in relationship in the first place, then you stay together. Then you have a relationship. But the moment you stop growing, or you start going in different directions, or you're not evolving together, or one person stops, the other person stops, then that might be the completion of your relationship if perhaps you've learned your lessons. So the real freedom to be able to surrender to committing fully is not to focus on will it last forever or will it not last forever, because if you're focused on that, you're going to be focused on getting hurt, protecting your heart, and nobody wants to get hurt. But when you're more focused, then your real commitment is, I commit to love. I commit to the process of loving no matter what. Then you're free, because all forms will change, all forms will evolve, all forms will shift. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary in this physical dimension, this physical universe. But loving is what lasts. And so this way, even if you're not together forever, you're committed to loving. When you're committed to loving, you're free. You're free. And the other thing I want you to get is, no matter what happens, when any moment you open your heart and you love, and you pour love, you open your heart. The truth is, in that moment, you benefit. Regardless of what the other person does, or what they don't do, or whether they leave, whether they stay, whether they give you as much or they give you less, the fact that you open your heart and you loved, you benefit from the loving. You opened your heart love muscle, and you benefited from the expansion of your heart, but you also open your heart to receiving at the level with which you're also loving. Folks, remember, the freedom to love is the freedom to live. And the freedom to commit, not just to a person, but to loving, is one of the keys to overcoming your fear of committing in a relationship. Ultimately, all you have is this moment. And all you have is the beautiful person in front of you. And so at this time of the year, if you have found someone that you love, if you found someone that you have a soul connection with, if you found someone that you feel deeply, seize the opportunity. The universe is giving you an opportunity to open your heart and love. Regardless of what happens in the future, you have this moment, and you can commit fully to loving authentically in this moment, right now, with this person, as a blessing, as an offering, and as a spiritual practice. My friends, I wish you love. I wish you big hugs. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with everyone in your life. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I can't wait to see you soon. Love now. Happy Valentine's Day.